Praise God. Praise God. I could leave right now and I got what I need. It's been good this morning. It's been real good. And what's really touched my heart, and if I start crying at any time, it may happen several times. I'm just telling you now. Because the main gist of what I was going to speak of is how good God is. We've been singing about it. We've been talking about it. God is good. But I'm going to come at it a little different angle. We're going to go to John 1. Now, I'll read you a little something first. Some ideas that I got down from, I don't know if anybody's heard of a guy named Matthew Henry. If you read a concordance or go along, he's lived a long, long time ago. But this dude wrote something on the Bible, a concise version and a full version on the whole Bible. Explains it, takes one paragraph and maybe writes 4 pages on it. And he ain't always right. He's a man. But you know what? He's got a lot of insight. And he talks about the book of John, which I'm going to use as my primary. John goes on to perfection in what he talks about. He does not lay again the foundation, but he builds upon it. He talks about that in the book of Hebrews. Leading us more within the veil. So John is really talking about the Spirit. John writes more about spiritual things, the life and the soul of it, than the other Gospels, and they're primarily about bodily things. You know, we're body and we're soul, you know? So I understand. Some people call the book of John the key of the evangelists for this reason. Now, I'll admit to you, I'm kind of here to water your seed this morning. Some of the precepts you said last week, you wanted to go higher. We wanted to go farther. We weren't satisfied with the status quo of what we've learned, but we want to get deeper into the things of God. So it brings me to John 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Wow. Can you think about that for a minute? Let's break it down a little bit. In the beginning was the Word. The beginning. It's the Greek word arche. And it's a commencement or a beginning. The root of the word means to have worth and to be first. I'd say God is first. We're to consider God first before we consider other things. God has the answer to everything you have a question to. First. We don't need to go anywhere else. There is no better source. In the beginning, it's always been there. You don't have to search it out. It's there. Praise God. In the beginning was the Word. Word. Well, in the Greek, that's the word logos. It's an expression of a thought. It's not just the name of an object, but the concept of an idea. This freaks me out. What I believe it is good. Everything that God has ever done, everything that God will ever do, anything that is associated with God in any way is good. You ain't going to get out here without me talking about Genesis. People that come to my devotional in the mornings know Genesis. Huh? What did God say after He created everything? And it was good. And He created the sea, and He created the sky, and He created food, and He created the... It was good. It was good. It was good. But what did He create last? Man. And what did He say? It was very good. That's what you are created for. You're created for good. This whole thing of evil that tries to come upon you, it wasn't there in the beginning. The thought was God. And I find it very interesting that God is spelled G-O-D. And how is good spelled? G-O-O-D. I don't think it's a coincidence. In the beginning was the Word. There was this thought of good. And the Word was with God. And the Word was God. The Word can be broken down into two separate parts. The Word is first conceived. You have to realize what the Word is. You have to conceive it. And I'm trying to tell you to do that this morning. It's good. That's all it is. It's not evil. It's not wrong. It's right. It's good. It's happy. The Word is pleasant. The Word fulfills. The Word sustains. There is nothing dark about good. It is light. So we have to first realize this, right? God is good. Does anybody want something not good for their child? For yourself? You want good. I want God. And then it's broken down to another part. And that's the word uttered. Or speech. See, when you receive it for yourself, you have to receive it yourself first. You can't share it with other people if you ain't got it. Understand what I'm saying? So what you're doing is you receive it, you acknowledge it, and then what's the next step you do? You share it with others. Another part that I'm going to share today is, I told you, I'm going to water the seeds you planted. Well, I'm going to water a little Jones seed too. And at the very end, I'm going to give you a little bit that talks about purpose. Because there's a purpose to this. There is a purpose to everything that is good. And it defeats everything that is evil, that is bad, that is wrong, that tears us down. Sometimes we get caught into this thing. We'll be happy and right one minute, and everything will be going, and you don't know where it came from, but this thing hits you upside the head, and you're like, why do I feel so bad? I'm going to give you an example of me and my wife this morning. Let me preface this by saying, I have a wonderful wife. My wife works hard. My wife does so much for me. She does so much for other people. You know, I'm not trying to put her into sainthood here, but she's good. She believes in good. And she shares good with others. But boy, oh boy, sometimes. I get up this morning. I've been working on this for a couple weeks when Pastor asked me. And I said, I'm going to work on it so much each day and stuff. And I really had to put the finishing touches on this morning, you know. So I took the time. And that's what God's speaking to me. And it's really good. Take your time, Steve. Take your time. If it's that good, you know what? It'll hold. It'll wait. I don't have to rush anything. Take your time. So I took my time this morning. I got up at 4:30. I got out the my book, and I got out all the other books, all the concordances and all that stuff. I'm going over and I really was blessed. My face was on the floor. I was realizing, conceiving how good God is. I was looking at ducks on the pond, and how the little baby ducks were swimming on the mama's back, and how good it was, how right it seemed. Everything they needed is out there. That's one thing about creation and nature. It's different than man. Man, we get a little scrape. We come up a little hill. Oh, hey, we got to get up that hill. Oh, animals, nature, there could be 100-mile-an-hour windstorm. They're flying and flapping through it. They don't stop for nothing. I'm serious. They know that God is good. And even if I go through trials, even if I go through tribulations, even no matter what I go through, it's going to be okay. I believed that this morning. I really did. And I get all my stuff up together. Well, I poured myself into the suit, which I couldn't get into about a month ago. Oh, man. 15 minutes before I'm going to leave, a voice comes from the bedroom. Coffee! And you were going to make me an egg and cheese sandwich. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm about to. And so what do? Okay, I'll do this real quick. And I started to rush. It's not good to rush. And I put the coffee, and I turned the pan up. I put it on high because I thought, okay, I'll get it quick, get it up, And I threw some butter in it, and I run over to the thing, and I grabbed the creamer, right? And I go to shake it, and she didn't put on the lid. There's creamer all over the kitchen, everywhere, right? And I'm like, no, it's going to be okay. I really believed that. And you know what? It was. But not until I told Kathy, always put the lid on the creamer. Well, just don't shake it. I shake. I shake the creamer. I shake the orange juice. I shake if it needs mixed. I shake. Put the lid on it. But who cares? She's a good wife. She works hard. I need to be a little bit more understanding, and so do you. Uh-oh, look at this. Ooh, you're really going to have to do it. Anyway, enough of that. You gotta conceive this thought of good, and you gotta utter it to other people. Good. You have to conceive it within yourself, and then you have to stick to it, even when the creamer's all over the floor. I ain't saying it's easy. I'm saying it's possible. Because we look at the life of Jesus. How many times did things go wrong for Jesus? Did he start yelling and screaming? Did he about lose his salvation? Does Jesus have salvation? He didn't let that bother him because he knew. Listen to who Jesus is. Oh, this is terrible. You think I could get mad? I could get mad about that? Could I? Yeah, it's just par for the course. I don't care. Let's go to Colossians 1:12. Colossians 1:12. Who's Jesus? Who is this? Who is good? Oh, by the way, we do know that Jesus is referred to as the Word of God. He's the second person in the Godhead. He is the Word. He is good. He is God. Colossians 1:12. Giving thanks to the Father, which had made us meet to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints of light. Light is good. Who has delivered us from the power of darkness. This is Jesus. Delivered us from the power of darkness and has translated us into the kingdom of His dear Son, in whom we have redemption through His blood, even the forgiveness of sins. That's good. Who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature. For by Him all things were created, all that are in heaven, all that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by Him and for Him. And He is before all things, and by Him all things consist. I'd say that sums it up. Think about this. Think about a typewriter. Right? What is eternity? See, we were created. Every one of us. Man was created. We have a beginning. And on this earth we have an end. But we were created. Jesus was never created. He didn't just show up when, the gospel was talking about gospel times. When man needed a Savior, when He was born into the world, when He laid down His Godhead and took on the flesh of man, He wasn't created then. He'd been in existence forever. Think of a typewriter and think of the old-fashioned typewriter of an O. Push O. What shows up on the paper? A non-broken circle. Is there a beginning to it? No. Is there an end to it? Can you see it? No. That's God. Always has been, always will be. So when He says He'll never leave you or forsake you, when He says that all things work together for good to those who love the Lord, when He says all these wonderful sayings of His, do you have any reason to doubt Him? He didn't ask somebody to create Him. He didn't show up one day. He's been for eternity. He is the Word. He is the thought. He is good. Man, do you get this? He is good. There is no shadow of turning in Him. There is no evil. There is no bad. Even if you go through the worst day of your life, there's tomorrow. His mercies are new every morning. That's who God is. Who's God? Let's go to Proverbs 8. This one I'm going to read. I don't have much time, but I'm going to read this whole thing because this, there's some power in this as there is in all the Word. Proverbs 8. Maybe I don't have time to read the whole thing. Let's just say he starts out talking about wisdom and how she stands in high places and in paths, and she cries out at the gates and at the doors. Unto O men I call, my voice is to the sons of men. Oh, I got to keep going. They're not sons of God yet. They're not in His family yet. They haven't accepted Him. He's calling on men that don't know Him. And my voice is to the sons of man. O ye simple, understand wisdom. Ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart. Hear, for I will speak excellent things. On the openings of my lips shall be right things, good things. For my mouth shall speak truth. He is truth. God is good. God is truth. He speaks truth. And wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness, and there is nothing froward or perverse in them. They are all plain to him with understanding, and right to them that find knowledge. Receive my instruction, not silver. Do we think about silver and gold too much? Come on, what do they represent? Wealth. They represent wealth. What did I tell you in the beginning about the Word? About Jesus. Logos. It says that in the beginning it's something of worth. That's Jesus. He's the most worthy, the most high, the most worthy. Understand him, not silver and gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that are to be desired are not to compare to wisdom. Kathy, grab me I got another pair of glasses I just remembered in my jacket. Throw them over here. Not too hard. They're not, yes they are. Way down the bottom. You gotta be kidding me. Go out in the car if you could. Anyway. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence and find out knowledge and witty inventions. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, arrogancy, and the evil way, and the froward mouth I do hate. God's for good, if you didn't understand. Counsel is mine and sound wisdom. I am understanding. I have strength. It's by me kings reign, and princes decree justice. By me princes rule and nobles, even all the judges of the earth. I love them that love me, and those that seek me shall find me. Those that shall seek me early shall find me. Riches and honor are with me, yea, durable riches and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, than fine silver, my revenue than choice silver. I lead the way of righteousness in the midst of the paths of the judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance. You're going to get it anyway. Even though I spilt that creamer this morning, even though I had to go back and make an egg, and yeah, there was some burning involved with the pan. You know. Oh yeah, there was brown butter, yeah. I'm still going to come out on top if I trust in good, if I trust in God. The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his ways. Check this out. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Lord possessed me, this is Jesus, in the beginning of his ways, before his works of old. I was set up from everlasting. From the beginning, I was first. From the beginning, or ever the earth was. When there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no fountains abounding with water. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills, I was brought forth. While as yet he had none made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest parts of the dust of the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. Good always triumphs over evil. If it didn't, God wouldn't be here. You ever think about that? Good always triumphs over evil. When he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep, when he gave the sea his decree that the waters should pass his commandment, when he appointed the fountains of the earth, then I was by him, as one brought up with him. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. He was with him. He's always been with him. I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him, rejoicing in the habitable parts of the earth, and my delights were with the sons of men. He's always loved you. He always has been good to you. Let me see a hands of how many people are not here now. He's brought you here. He's brought you. Have you been through any trials? He's brought you out of it. And you might have a few now that you're still working through, but He's going to bring you out of it. Oh my God, He is good. I was with Him. I was brought up with Him. I was daily His delight, rejoicing always before Him, rejoicing in the habitable part of the earth, and my delights were in the sons of men. Now, therefore, hearken unto me, O children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. Blessed are they that keep God's ways. I don't need anything else. The one who's been there from the beginning, the one who always was and always will be, tells me I am blessed because I keep His ways. I hear His instruction and be wise and refuse it not. Has anybody here got something going on that they think, yeah, that's pretty good. I know better than God. I can get through this situation. What do I need God for? This thing's too small. I can do it all by myself. Oh, are you looking for a fall? Were you there when God created the heavens and the earth? Do you know how everything works? Are you going to be the same in 100 years from now? I don't see no hands. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. Who wouldn't want to trust in that? He's a proven commodity. Over and over and over and over again. There is none like Him. Blessed are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction to be wise. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors. For whosoever findeth me findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All that hate me love death. That pierced my heart. There is no question of who God is. In the beginning was the Word. It was a thought of good. God is good. And the Word was with God right from the beginning. Right from the beginning. Always has been, always will be. Excuse me. And the Word was God. Hallelujah. We can't lose. If God be for me, who can be against me? If God be for me, who can be against me? We convince ourselves of falsehood all the time. One of the biggest problems with that is we live in fear. I love the acronym for fear. False evidence appearing real. You ever worry about something? You're just all torn up about it, and it never even happened? I'm telling you, it can happen, and more I'm getting to the place where that doesn't even bother me because of what I know. And sometimes I'll say something to somebody, and even in the back of my head, I'm thinking, that's a little arrogant, Steve. You kind of bragging on yourself or what? But I'm not. I'm bragging on my God. The one that can take even me with all my faults and all my failures and everything that's happened in my life. He can take even me and He can make lemonade out of lemons. Well, He's no respecter of persons. I said He ain't no respecter of persons. What He's done for one, He's longing to do for another. Oh my God. God is good. You were created for good. Oh man. Do you get this? Anything can happen peripherally all around you. It doesn't matter. You were made for good. Wow. Let's go to Ephesians 5. Ephesians 5. Ephesians 5, 25 and 27. Well, 24 through 27. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let wives be to their own husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives, as Christ so loved the church, and gave Himself for it. You mean I'm supposed to do the same thing as Christ has done? You mean Christ is my example? Well, Christ is good. Maybe I should straighten myself out and become good. Maybe I shouldn't consider things that seem a little off color, that seem a little off. Do we sometimes think about things we shouldn't be thinking about? Treat your husbands and wives like Christ treats you. Now listen, that He might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. By the washing of the water. What does water represent? The Spirit. The water is the Spirit. By the washing of the Spirit by Jesus, the Word. Let Jesus Christ, who died for your sins, who has made a way where there seems to be no way, who has walked perfectly on this earth. He knows everything that you've gone through, everything that you will go through. He's left His Holy Spirit here to apply Jesus to you, to come live inside of you, to cleanse you, to purify you, that you can walk in His ways. Let me tell you something. We are not here to create the truth. There is nothing you can do about that. But you are here to walk in it. You're not here to create the truth, but you're here to walk in it. I got a lot more to say, but it's getting a little late, and it's been good today. Do you get that? It's been good. It's been God. I could feel His Spirit moving through this place. With the pastors talking about good, the songs all about good, it all was just flowing. And I was being blessed. And I am blessed. I said I wanted to talk a little bit about purpose. Let's go to John 8. John 8, 28 through 32. So then Jesus said to them, "When you have lifted up the Son of Man, then shall ye know that I am He, and that I do nothing of myself, but as my Father has taught me, I speak these things." Here's the utterance part. Jesus speaks nothing but what He heard from the Father. Are we to speak nothing about what we heard from Jesus? And He that sent me is with me. Is Jesus with me? Then what are you worried about? What are you worried about? The Father has not left me alone. This is Jesus talking. This is good. This is the Word speaking in utterance, saying to you, it's the same thing with you. It's the same thing with you. For I always do those things that please Him. I want to be able to say that. How about you? As He spake these words, many believed upon Him. I don't want to go part way. What Bonnie was talking about. I don't want to go just to Haran. I want to go all the way to Canaan. I don't want Jesus to pay for something that I don't use. I want everything that there is. And that ain't greed. That's using what God has given you. That's His desire. And I want to please Him. Then they said to Jesus, to those Jews which believed in Him, if ye continue in my words, then ye are my disciples indeed. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Does anybody want freedom? Peace, love, joy, happiness. Yeah, I'll throw in happiness. Say, He can't take my joy. You always got the joy of the Lord. You know what? You got happiness too. I'm happy that I know Jesus. I'm happy that He died for me. And I'm happy that He lives inside of me now. And His Holy Spirit leads me into all truth. And all these things, you know what they are? They're good. They're real good. And He made me so I could walk in very good things. And I don't want to disappoint Him. I want to do everything that He has provided for me to do. That's part of my purpose. That's part of my purpose. And it doesn't say the truth shall set me free. By me knowing this, the Word, by me knowing the Word first conceived in my heart that I believe, and second spoken out, an utterance of the Word, that will make. It can't not happen. It'll make me free. Whew. Glory to God. Finally, turn to Mark 16. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And that That whole chapter, I'd like to read, if I had time, I'd read the whole thing because we can go through so much more of how we are like John the Baptist. We're not the Word, but we're sent to talk about the Word. We're sent to share the good news with everybody. Finally, with purpose. Mark 16, verse 15. And he said to them, this is Jesus, "Go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature." Who here doesn't have a purpose? I don't care if it's just telling how you got saved, how God just changed your heart from the darkness into the light. That's a miracle. That's a great mystery of God. That is powerful. It's God's power, but we get to use it. Woo! It's God's power, but we get to use it. Go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. And verse 20. Then they went forth and preached everywhere, the Lord working with them and confirming the word with signs that followed. Confirming the word. There's only one thing you can tell them. There's only one thing that's powerful enough to pull them out of any situation that they're in. There was only one thing that was powerful enough to pull you out of. And it doesn't matter what happens after, in between, or before, anytime since, because it's the truth. It's the light. Jesus was this truth. Jesus was this light. Jesus is the Word. And confirming the Word. Are you willing to confirm the Word, Jesus, in your life? Are you willing? Because if you are, my friend, everything's been opened up to you. There is a power that dwells inside of you that can move mountains. There is a power inside of you that can change any situation, anything. And it dwells in you. Will you conceive the word? Will you conceive good? Then will you take that word? Here's your purpose. Utter that word. Share that word with everyone you meet. Because if you've truly conceived it and believe it, you're going to share it. Amen? Amen. God bless you.